This video is not made for kids. This is not a kid-friendly video. There is adult language in this video not suitable for kids. So warning after warning all parents that this video does have adult language in it and it's not suitable for kids. Let's jump right into it. Alright guys, welcome back to part 2. Alright, so the last thing you saw was the t-shirt right here. And I'm going to also show you a little bit more of the VHS tapes. The only reason why I want to do that is because this way you can see the actual tape itself and the date on it. So here's Gremlins 2, the new batch. You can see right there, 1990. So this is the original. So we look on this side as well. Gremlins 2. Alright, and then there's some more writing right here, but it's very... I don't know if I can get it on camera there, but it's there. Okay, now let's look at the first one. And then we will start looking at the actual figures themselves. Okay, now here is the 1984, or 85 really. So there you go, 1984, Gremlins. Okay, so let's look at the actual figures now. So, as I was telling you guys, when I was a kid, I always wanted Gremlin figures, always wanted Gremlins toys, and they were very hard to find. I would assume because not that many people bought them because their kids were freaking scared of the Gremlins toys. I would assume, I really don't know. Well, for the most part, a short story is that back in 1984, when the original Gremlins came out, everybody took their kids to go see it because it was considered a kids movie. And then all of a sudden, you know, the tiny little creatures like this, little gizmos, started turning into gremlins and terrorizing and attacking people. So parents got out of the movie and started complaining to the the movie's manager, whoever was the manager in the movies. The parents were complaining to that guy. How could you do that? You know, you know, all this stuff, whatever. So I would assume that's why when they did come out with this one figure here, a actual gizmo that came with this figure. And then these bendables, and then I believe the gizmo. Well, anyway, I don't think they sold too many of them, and they just did away with it. But as you can see here as well, they made them into lunch boxes, right? So these are tin. And that's the original 1984. It's rusted and it's dented and all that stuff, but it's very cool. I love the artwork and I'm glad I still have it. Now the thing is, let's move on to the early 2000s. So all these figures that you're looking at right here, this guy there, let's see, it's this guy, that guy, this one, NECA, right over here. And of course the Pops. And I guess that's about it for what I have here. They just came out recently, okay? Now, the ones that came out in the early 2000s were these guys right here. So it was this one. It was this one. And it was Brain. Now, there is what people call a life-size Brain, which is like a 12-inch, and for other people out there, it's for a 30 centimeter tall brain, basically Gremlin. And those are freaking awesome. I did have a chance to buy it, but when I looked at it, the fingers were really, really bad. Like, it looked like it got caught on a, I want to say, like, if it was in a box and somebody got a razor blade and like this, and they cut part of the finger off. And I didn't want to buy it that way. I was like, no. So now I'm kind of like, you know, I kind of would have liked to ask for a discount. But at that time, I never thought about asking managers for discounts if the toy was broken in the store, right? So I was like, you know, I didn't even think about it, so I left it there. But now, I mean, he's pretty damn expensive. So there you go. Anyway, let's look at these guys right here. So the first one we're going to look at right now is Stripe. And this guy, I believe, if I am not mistaken, he came out back in, I want to say 2003. It could be 2001, but I think it came out in 2003. Anyway, this is a very, very detailed figure. NECA was the one that made these, or, you know, they did make these. And, yeah, again, just outstanding quality. You just got to be very, very careful with the wrists, because let me try and put you somewhere so that you can see what I'm trying to tell you about. So, okay. Right here, the wrist is right there. So if you go to a flea market, a swap meet, a garage sale, whatever the case may be, and you find this figure or a figure like this, and you start moving it, and you're real rough with it, you will end up breaking the peg inside the hand. I'm sorry, inside the arm. So what you gotta do is you need to just twist it a little bit, just a little bit at a time. And this one is not moving, so I'm not gonna force it because I don't want to break it. But I'm gonna try and move it a little bit. Try not to, again, break it off. But as you can see, for the most part, it is, okay, I got one free. So I'm going to show it to you right now. I got this wrist free, so you can see that it is twisting. So yeah, you got to be very, very careful with that, because if not, and you twist it too hard or too rough, it will snap on you. It will come completely off. And there goes your really nice figure for the most part. So yeah, just it's something to be careful with. And I got this one to freely move as well. So you can see that right there. Again, you just gotta be very gentle with it. Twist it to the point where you think it might break, but don't break it, right? You got to be very careful. But anyway, these are very cool figures. They're very detailed. But I'm going to tell you something. Now, these are very cool figures, like I said. Very nice. Very, very cool figures. Right? They look like Gremlins. They're pretty cool. Very nice. Detailed. But nothing compared to what NECA is coming out with nowadays, okay? So the difference, just look at it. Let's put him right here. So from here, when they first started, to nowadays, when you look at the movie, yeah, that's pretty damn close. That's pretty close. This one looks like it jumped out of the TV screen. It looks like it jumped out of the movie screen onto the desk, onto here in this video. It looks outstanding. Holy crap, is that freaking badass or what? And you get a lot more movement out of these guys than you did with these guys. So you have movement here where you can move it up and down, back and forth. You have only where you can twist the elbow and twist the wrist. And then you have your upper leg movement here. And then you can move the head left and right. These figures, you can move the jaw. I mean, oh man. Man, you have so much more movement. I'm not even going to get into it, but yeah, you guys are awesome. Like, these guys are awesome. So here's the other one here, the poker player. The reason why it's called the poker player is because, and I do have the accessories. I don't know where I put them, sadly. But you can see right here, there's a little hole. And that's where you're supposed to put cards. Basically, you know, your deck of cards. I think it's aces and kings or something like this. And he has them hidden behind his ear. And then Stripe gets mad and shoots him. So again, look at the difference, guys. So from the early 2000s, they look pretty good. They look, you know, relatively close to the actual Gremlins. And nowadays, freaking awesome, man. Holy crap. Okay, so let's again move on. And this again is, I'm gonna say early 2000. I'm sorry, guys. Early 2000s, probably somewhere around 2000. Okay, if these guys came out in 2003, this guy had to have come out in 2006. Maybe earlier than that. Maybe 2004, 5, or 6, around there. So you can see that the same movements as these guys have, this guy has. Now the difference between this guy and that guy, or these guys and this guy here, is that NECA finally started to realize, yeah, these Gremlins here don't really look like the actual Gremlins in the movie. Let's make them a little bit better. So then they came out with Gremlins 2 Mohawk right here. Now, sadly on mine, it's missing the Mohawk, and I'm supposed to make another one, which I'm very lazy, have not done it yet, but I eventually will. But anyway, for the most part, yeah, this one came out, and this one is dated. So yeah, I was pretty close. This one came out in 2005. So let's try and focus in on this. Let's see. Come on, focus, please. Every time it focuses, it goes out of focus. But anyway, yeah, it does say NECA 2005. And I believe it says made in China. And then on the other foot, it says, let's see on this side here. Again, if it does focus in, this one says Warner. Okay, sorry, Warner Brothers. And then it says, let me see, SD3. So yeah, this is a very, very cool figure. So they started to step up their game from these guys here back in 2003. Well, 1, 2, or 3, around there. And then this guy in 2005. They started to really make the Gremlins actually look like Gremlins. From this guy, the way you see him here. And then they went with that guy over there. And then they came out with this guy here. And that guy let's put him side by side. So you can see Mohawk right here. You can see this guy over here, and you can see the other Mohawk over there. I mean, NECA started to really do a damn good job. Now, again, for the most part, within the same year as these guys here, they came out with Brain, like I told you. And in this one, I believe it was the same year that they came out with these guys. But when they came out with the Part 2 Gremlins, now this one doesn't have a date either, but yeah, they just did an outstanding job, and I believe that this is still one of the best, or one of the better Gremlins from back at that time when NECA started to come out with the Gremlins. So really, I mean, this Gremlin here, Brain, looks a hell of a lot better than those guys there. But it doesn't change the fact that I still love them all, and I still have them. So yeah, very, very cool. I love this guy. Awesome, awesome guy. Now, there's so much to talk about. I can't believe it's already 16 minutes, but oh well. Now we're gonna move on to this other Gremlin here, which is the, and look how thin this is. I think NECA, when they came out with this figure, they kind of gypped us. And I don't want to say that because, I mean, it's not like they were trying to do that on purpose, I don't think. I mean, I really don't know. But when they came out with this figure, I would have expected something a little bit better, right? So this is just a piece of plastic, very thin, as you can see right here. Very, very thin piece of plastic. So if you were to drop this at a weird angle, right? Something like if this hit here or something like this, that would just snap off. That's a lot of money just to be that freaking thin right there. And that's not the entire Gremlin. Let's pull the Gremlin out. Okay, so there's your base. That's your stand, right? So if we look at the date on the back here, this one came out in 2012 by NECA again. So let's try and focus in on this. Right there, you can see it clearly. NECA 2012, made in China. Okay, so this again is just a base, and look how thin that is. Very, very thin. Okay, now let's look at the actual Gremlin itself. Look at this. Let's turn it around. Let me try and hold it somewhere over here so you can see how thin this thing is. It's like a few paper thick, basically. Like you get a few papers, just a few, and that's how thick it is. It's like, are you kidding me, NECA? Come on, guys, really? Shit, man. But again, I love Gremlins, and I had to buy this one. I had to. Now, when I usually display this one, I will display it on like a little flashlight type thing. So when I have him, hold on, I'm trying to get him back on his base here. Okay, so when I have him, it will look something like the light, the way you see it there, but the actual plastic will glow a little bit of blue. So it will have blue and white shining to it, like a shine to it. So that's how I would display it. But yeah, this is one of the rip-offs right here. This is a huge rip-off right here. NECA could have done so much better. So much better. But, you know, they did this. And, well, again, I'm a huge Gremlins fan. I had to buy it. And when I bought this, it was brand new, so it was not expensive at all. It was probably like $10, give or take. And nowadays, I mean, good luck finding one for $10, you know? And especially this freaking thin, I would never pay something like, honestly, I would not pay more than $15 for it. Honestly. Because, again, it's too damn thin. But again, everybody's different. If you still like it, great. And again, hey, I have one, so I'm not complaining at all. I don't like that it's so damn thin. That's the only thing I do not like. But anyway, guys, it's part 3. We're going to have to go up to part 3 now. All right, guys, let me get up here. Let me start part 3. All right, guys, talk to you right now. Bye.